Philip?
Ah, you're back. How are things at the quarry?
All's in order. We won't have any further problems. So, why did you ask me to come?
It's about Jack. He got into a fight with Alfred again. Have you come to a decision yet about my proposition?
I'm not sure.
Jack can already read and write, and there is much more we can teach him here. What does his mother think?
Ellen won't talk to me because of this. She believes I'm favoring Alfred. But Alfred is the master craftsman. I taught him since he was 6. Jack is only an apprentice, and the two can't go on like this.
No, they cannot.
He wouldn't work on the cathedral, but he could stay in Kingsbridge.
He could?
I have no choice. I want the best for my children. For all of them.
Of course. Let us talk to Jack, then.
Yes.
Tom? Wait for me.
Philip? Something is ailing you, isn't it? Philip, you told me and Cuthbert once that if you became prior, you would want to expand our scriptorium. Remember? It was the day little Jonathan came to us.
Yes, I remember. He was so little.
You achieved what you set out to do, and so much more. If only Cuthbert was still here with us to see this.
Milius, we have not had time to talk since I returned.
There was time, but you avoided it.
I have a bad feeling about all this.
Why? For once, all is well.
I haven't seen my brother Francis in a long time. I'm afraid. For him. For all of us. But it's not just that.
No?
I think I've lost my faith.
You?
Let us talk later, like we used to.
Yes, of course. We will.
Are you not coming, Remigius?
I have pressing matters to attend to, my prior.
All right.
And what kind of surprise is it?
Well, I think you'll be amazed, both of you.
Ooh, now I'm curious. When can we see it?
I should be done this afternoon. Come on, Jonathan. Let's have a look at the bear.
Yes, please.
Have fun, boys. Any idea what he's up to?
I have no idea.
Father, Jack took tools from the site. I don't know what he did with them, but I know he took them.
Well, you two won't get a chance to quarrel in the future. Philip will see to that. But Jack is not the only one to blame in this. Martha, have you seen Jack?
He went with Jonathan to see the bear fight.
With Jonathan? That's dangerous. What is he thinking? Oh.
You want to buy twice as much? I'll sell you twice as much.
by the way, I've heard from Richard.
Is he all right?
Message didn't say, but I assume he's fine.
Why's that?
He says he needs me to buy him a new horse.
Look at him go!
Are you sure you want to see this?
Of course. What a show.
Why did the bear and dog fight?
It's in their nature. The beast that is more clever and stronger wins.
No. For them, there is no winning.
Jonathan, come here. You shouldn't have brought him here. It's dangerous.
I'm always doing something wrong no matter what I do. If Alfred had brought him here, I bet there wouldn't have been a problem.
There would have.
Maybe it's better if you and Jonathan go.
Come on.
Jack,
What?
I know how you feel.
Oh, really?
The world is unjust. We are like these poor animals, forced to tear. It is a game.
Who? Tom?
No, the kings. Tom and all of us are made again. And we don't even know we are playing. You have every right. But there is a way. Perhaps not for the sake of God, but for the sake of man.
What do you mean?
I want you to become a monk.
Wait! Don't go wandering off on your own.
Soft to the touch and yet sturdy.
Have you two seen my son?
Ellen,
He went over to see the bear fight.
Aliena? I have come to...
To what?
What's wrong with your brother?
I've no idea.
Aliena, I have come to ask for your hand. In marriage.
Are you mad, Alfred Builder?
What?
Why would you think that I...
Did you hear that?
What was that?
Oh, now. I'm here. Should have looked out for you. You wanted to go all the way up there? Like Alfred and Jack do? Come on. We'll go together. You and me.
So, this is it then?
Who's that man?
I am the Earl of Shiring, boy.
Stay with me, Jonathan.
Now, while my men inspect your market, tell me, where is your saint?
The crypt.
Speak up!
The crypt!
I heard that your master builder died in an accident.
Yes, he did.
A shame. This could have become a great cathedral. Now, out of my way!
Jonathan!
if this is the end.
They were burning by God. They were on fire.
Where are the others? They're going to kill them!
Aliena! Milius locked the door.
From the out. Is he still out? No.
art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name.
Aliena!
Milius locked it!
Milius! I think I can hear him out there.
Return our saint, or you will go to hell.
No. You go.
No!
Thy kingdom come.
William Hamley.
Thy will be done.
Aliena is still out
As
there!
it is in heaven.
So is Jonathan!
Give us this day
Come
our
on,
daily
do
bread.
it.
And forgive us our debts. As we have forgiven our debtors.
Oh
Lead
no!
us not into temptation.
The gate is locked as well.
Deliver us from evil.
Aliena is this way!
So are the attackers. If we go this way, they might not see us.
You're right.
Art in heaven.
But it's locked.
Hallowed be thy name.
Jack!
Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. We shouldn't be coming.
Jack? Jack!
I won't leave him!
Move, Mary, please. We must leave him here.
No! I have to help him! Peter! We cannot leave her here.
Words from the scripture will calm her.
Look at her husband. Look at her. Your words won't do any good.
I won't allow you to poison her, woman.
This herb will help her. It works.
I will not let you use your devil's work on her.
What's going on here?
Look at that poor woman. Her husband has died in her arms. Your sub-prior refuses to let me help her.
Her herbage is the devil's work.
We must get her away from here. William and his men will ride this way. I know it.
You're right. We must make haste.
Philip, I told you this woman is a witch.
You're a fool. This is Henbane.
Henbane?
The devil's eye. So you admit that you are trying to poison this woman.
Oh, does the evil eye of the flower intimidate you, you old goat?
Calm down, all of you.
Prior Philip, take this. It will calm her nerves if she chews on it. For once, do the right thing.
Prior James was right about you.
Prior James? Ugh, you have no idea what kind of man Prior James was. You are a fool.
Are you sure this won't harm her?
Yes, I am.
No!
We grow herbs too, Remigius.
Go ahead. I'm holding her. It's working.
I told you, maybe I was wrong about you, Philip.
How could you do that?
Oh, piss on you.
They're coming.
We need to move now.
It makes no sense. Why would the Earl of Shire intrude?
Shut up, or they will kill us all.
It's them.
Shh. Shh. Shh.
Be quiet, please.
Look at him. He did quite well. He got pretty far.
There was someone here with him.
Hugh's right. They might be close by.
We should make haste. We got what we came for.
Not yet.
Walter, why do I get the feeling you're upset?
We didn't have to do this. We came for the Saint.
They deserved it. Like this ugly bastard.
Kingsbridge defied us for the last time. That monk, the bitch, and the bastard she's fucking.
Come on, move! After him!
But William said...
I said move!
My little cub, are you all right?
Did you see Aliena?
She was in the market. I heard William calling out her name.
Jack, come. We must find her and Jonathan. Dear God. Oh. No. Aliena! Aliena! Jonathan!
He took everything from me again.
Aliena! No matter what you do, no matter where you go, I will find you. Every time you think you're safe, every time you play house, I will find you. And I will crush you. Now, kill them all, and make her watch.
Aliena, are you all right?
I swear by Almighty God and Jesus Christ and all the saints that I will take care of my brother Richard until he has fulfilled his vow.
Can't you hear me?
Jack! It's all gone. I can't support Richard like this. What am I going to do now?
Tom. You are alive. Thank God.
We must ask the bishop for help. The bishop? Are you mad? I heard he is behind this. Shh.
How can we go on living in Kingsbridge now? Will the cathedral still be built?
Not without the market.
It must be, or there'll be no work for us.
Please. Our prior will answer all of your questions. Huh. Philip, they are waiting for you.
Yes.
Can we stay in Kingsbridge? Or must we move on?
Brother Andrew is overseeing the repairs. And we will be able to continue the construction of our cathedral. Tom Builder's son, Alfred, will take over the position of Master Builder. Though it will take longer, for we will not hold a market again. And I am happy to welcome a new novice. Most of us are familiar with him, so I'm sure we all can share the sentiment that he will be very welcome in our priory. Jack. As was Tom's wish.
Why were we attacked?
Was that really the Earl of Shiring?
And the Saint?
Yes! Yes, what about the Saint?
How many have died? How many were wounded?
He will answer your questions. All of them.
Please tell us what to do.
Too many people have died. Many were injured. Among the injured was our master builder, Tom. He protected our little Jonathan.
It will take time, but I'm sure he will recover.
Thank God.
Tom's alive.
2 of our brothers have perished. Brother Arnaldus. And Brother Milius. He rests by Cuthbert's side now. And 8 more lives were taken.
Will the Earl of Shiring be judged for what he did?
He must be!
Yes, he must. What about the Saint?
Where is the Saint?
Adolphus will protect us.
It would be better.
Is he not well? He looks pale.
The rumors, the remains of Saint...
The Saint's gone. Was it the...
Why would he do...
Milius died to protect the Saint. I saw it.
Please tell us.
This...
Tell us what will happen with us.
Shall I
with
continue
Kingsbridge
for you, my brother?
No. This attack, I cannot think of why it is impossible to.
You went against the...
He said you did...
Philip was in the right. We had a market license.
Our prior was in the right, but we all need defiance will only lead...
I...
You should be more careful. We must never...
No.
The Earl stole the Saint because of Philip.
But it's not his fault.
They all had to die.
Why is he not answering?
Please answer. How will...
Why is...
Answer.
No. I cannot give you confidence. The stories of how God tested the faith of his followers. I see now how true they are. I think you do as well. I am asking myself, where is God? Why did he not prevent all this? I do not know. I have no answer.
One day, God said to Satan, "Look at my man Job. There's a good man if ever I saw one." So Satan said, "You've given him everything. That's why he's a good man." But God said, even if he were to lose everything he has, his faith in me would not falter, and I will prove it to you.
Mother hasn't moved from his side for days.
It will take time for him to heal.
You know, this wasn't the first time someone wanted to kill him. If we hadn't scared off that monk in black, I'm sure Tom wouldn't be with us anymore.
Did you ever find out who he was?
I have no idea.
It was Bishop Waleran's servant.
What?
Waleran?
You will burn in hell for this.
What? I defeated your greatest enemy. It was a holy mission.
It's not up to you to decide that. Even your father would not have been that foolish.
I am not my father.
They saw you. They know that the Earl of Shiring is a murderer. What if my allies in Kingsbridge were hurt? What then?
Absolve my sins.
Only if you announce your loyalty to King Stephen.
No! Stephen lost. He is weak.
Bishop Henry will not approve of me giving absolution to a supporter of Empress Maud. Are you a man of the church or not?
I am.
Then do as you are told. And never defy me again. Is that understood?
Yes, my bishop.
One day we'll tell everyone everything about us, Ali. All of them.
Maybe we should have told everyone while we still could. Maybe there would have been ways to make it last. Jack! Oh, what is he doing in there? Jack! Oh, Jack.
At least I still have my hair.
Where can we go from here?
Anywhere we want.
What is this?
I told you I had a surprise for you. Remember? This is it.
What is it?
It's a first version of a fulling mill.
Is fulling the cloth all by itself using the motion of the water wheel?
Yes. What do you think? You'll be able to sell even more cloth, not just wool, like you wanted to.
It's a brilliant invention. It's what I always wanted.
Then why do you look so sad?
William Hamley.
We will go someplace else then, where he won't find us.
He will find me, wherever I go.
You can't just give up.
I'm not giving up. And I'm not running away. And because I'm not running away, there is something I have to tell you. It's not what I want to do. It's what I have to do. Oh, Jack,
What is it?
I wish things were different.
What things?
We can't meet again. Not like this.
Why?
I'm getting married. To support Richard.
To whom?
It's not important. William will burn down anything that I build up. This is the only choice I have. My husband will pay for Richard's expenses. It's the only way my brother can protect our people.
I will marry you.
I love you, Jack. And I always will. But look at yourself. You are a good man, Jack. And monks can't marry.
Then I will stop being a monk.
And what then?
I don't know.
Maybe when this is over, we can meet again.
But not like this.
No, not like this.
Don't say that.
Who is it?
What?
Who are you going to marry?
It's not important.
Please. Don't you think I deserve to know?
He has steady income from the houses he builds in Shiring and Winchester. And he is a master builder now.
What? Dear Francis, I long for the day you can read all the letters I've written. Once, you asked me if I often think of our parents. I do. And I often think of the day they were killed. And of how Abbot Peter took us in. Peter raised us and taught us about God. We grew up in the safety of the monastery. Only now have I begun to understand that outside the priory, the killing continued every single day. I have come to believe that if God existed, he would not allow all the pain and bloodshed. A few days ago, William Hamley and his men attacked us. Many died by their hand. And among them is Milius. First, I believed I had brought the devil to Kingsbridge, for I thought I had seen him in Lincoln. The last few nights, I did not sleep. I was afraid that in my dreams I might flee from his grasp in blind terror toward the river and drown like Prior James did. But I know this is not the work of the devil, but of man. But then, where is God? Most of what Abbot Peter taught us was wrong. Where is that loving God to protect us? But in one thing, he was absolutely right. For he taught us about living in seclusion, away from sin, away from want, away from the world that turns man against man. I know I blamed you for what happened after we got involved with Bishop Waleran. I do not anymore. But I blame our church and men like Waleran, because they involved themselves in the bloodshed. As Peter taught us, I will go into seclusion. The answers I seek are not out there. Maybe I will find them in here. Where are you, Francis?
Put that away!
Stop it immediately!
No, Jack! Jack!
Jack! No! This is not what we do!
Ugh, get off me, you freak!
No!
Jack!
Take him away! Lock him up!
It's all useless. No. It's all useless. No. It's all
Jack.
Mother?
The water duct runs right under the cell. Look for a loose stone in the floor. It'll sound hollow.
What? How do you know that? Won't be able to lift it like this. As long as there's no place to fit my... This could be it. The bowl would crack. The slab's too heavy. Doesn't sound hollow. Mother was right. It sounds hollow. The cracks are too narrow to... I don't think so. The bowl would crack. This one looks easy to pry out, but not with bear. With that hole, I could lift the slab out. She was right.
Jack, tell me, was it about Aliena? I know about you two. I have known for a long time.
And how did you know how to get out of that cell? How did you know?
Your father. He was locked up in there as well.
Was he a monk?
No. They said he was a thief, but he was not.
Is it true then? What they say, that he was hanged in Shiring?
Yes, but he was innocent.
How? How did it happen?
Someone here in Kingsbridge gave him a jeweled cup and told him he could go. A mile down the road, he was arrested and accused of theft. It was like a game to them. They said he had stolen that cup from the Priory.
Who said that?
3 men. He managed to escape the way you did, but they caught up with him. They hanged him in Shiring.
Who were those men?
It does not matter. It is all in the past now.
Once you told me my father was a jongleur, that he came from France.
That is what he told me.
You want to leave.
What if I have family there? There must be someone who remembers Jack Sherberg, right?
I knew this day would come.
I'm not a monk.
I know.
And I can't work here with Alfred.
I know. You really love her, don't you, Aliena?
Yes.
You truly are his son, Jack Jackson. This place is too small for you. After your father died, I went into the forest to get away from it all. But if you live like an animal, then they treat you like one. Do not let them, ever, find your way in the world. And when it leads you back to me, I want to hear lots of new tales.
Of course.
Those that killed your father, the people they killed, will return to haunt them. I promised them.
Waylaran disrespects you.
After all I've done for him.
Why rely on him for salvation? There are many priests, many bishops.
Maybe. But you are not making decisions for me either, Walter. No one is. If the Lord wants me to support Waylaran, he will let me know.
And what if he does not? What then? Will you allow Waylaran to order you around?
Whew, it's getting cold.
Lady Aliena, I'm sorry, are you there?
Yes?
I'm sorry for disturbing you on an important day like this, but have you by any chance seen Jack since yesterday?
Has something happened?
He's gone. We've been looking for him all morning.
No, I haven't seen him. Does anyone know why he left?
Well, yes, and I'm afraid it is my fault. I had him locked away. But in the end, I just punished anger with wrath.
Oh, we've all failed him.
No, I am the one to blame, and I pray to make it right again. My monks are already trawling the woods. I myself will go to shiring, while Martha is taking a horse to a cave he used to know. Please, don't let this spoil the first day of your marriage, when there should be only reason to rejoice.
Thank you.
They still haven't found him? How long has it been?
I haven't been counting.
Well, I think he's gone for good. I love him like a brother. But first he tries to kill me. Then he runs off. Woody and his family's sick.
Are you hungry? I think I'll prepare some food.
Great. I'm starving. We've been married for what? A week?
I haven't been counting.
Right. Feels like a lifetime already, doesn't it? Yet, we still haven't... You know...
Oh, I'm sorry. I want this to work, but I need time.
It's all right. Sometimes you look at me like you think your husband isn't a good man. But I am a good man. You'll see. You need any help?
You could prepare the meat.
How do I do that?
Oh, never mind. I've got it.
What are you cooking?
Frumenti.
What's going in it?
Wheaten ale with milk, spices, venison and eggs.
Well, as long as it tastes good. Today, I was thinking about what you and Philip did for our workers when they were afraid that they wouldn't be paid. Offering them coin to make them stay and feel safe. What if I did something similar? How about I could offer them pay in case something happens? Like an insurance. What do you think?
Could you afford it?
That's up to the prior to decide. He said he'd come over around noon tomorrow. Maybe he could eat with us. And you could help me explain the idea. If you want. I think it would be good for you. To do something other than cooking and weaving. You haven't left the house in 2 weeks.
You're right. I'd be glad to help.
Ah, Great.
It still lacks spices. Would you like venison with it?
No, thank you. I am just here to talk.
Ascetic as always, I see.
It just turns more and more into a habit, really. So, you are suggesting that we promise the workers money if the construction is not completed?
Yes, as an insurance. Since the Fleece Fair, they've been quite worried. It would ease their minds a bit.
Yes, especially since they'd know they don't have to finish the cathedral in order to get rich. It sounds to me like we would be tempting them to fail deliberately.
I hadn't thought about that.
I think it's not a bad idea. We wouldn't promise them too much, just enough to help them get by till they find new work.
It would ease their minds a bit.
Yes, you said that. Your idea shows great compassion, Alfred.
Thank you, Father.
It's very rare these days to find spirits who still believe in the good of people. Unfortunately. I could never promise them coin, because one cannot give what one does not have. Ever since the market collapsed, Kingsbridge is losing more than it earns. We may even run out before we complete the cathedral.
What?
He's right. It won't be finished.
But what about Mother? We wanted to build it for her.
Could you build faster? Finish it before you run out of money?
Is that an option? Master Builder, you've been awfully quiet so far.
It's hard to say. But yes, Alfred could look at the designs. Could be there's shortcuts that could be taken. Not much help yet, but I'll do what I can.
I can do it.
All right. I promise you, I will think about your proposal. Oh, milady, your soup.
Thank you. I'd never thought that my brother could work so hard.
He just wants to be better than Jack.
I'm not so sure. I would never have thought. Really. Alfred has changed. He used to be such a bully. He seems really concerned about things now. About Kingsbridge, about you, about your family. I can't wait for you to give me a little nephew or niece.
That won't happen.
No?
No.
Oh. By the way, I got the blue dye you've been asking for. It's from a woad merchant in Winchester. Took me some time to find him.
Oh, thank you so much, Martha. I guess now I finally have to finish my weaving.
How's it going?
I find it hard to sit down and be patient these days.
What does Sir Richard think of the idea?
I haven't told him yet. When he comes here, he's mostly interested in coin. But that's the deal. He fights and I pay. It's an endless circle. The coat of arms shall remind us of who we are and where we come from, so we don't end up losing purpose.
Have you decided on an animal yet? You really should have an animal on it.
It will sport a bear.
Oh, bears are scary. I like that. Ali, I'm so sorry that I mentioned wanting a niece. I just thought, in the last month, that you were, well, growing a bit.
Oh, I'm just getting fat.
You're not getting fat?
You forget that there's not a lot for me to do other than sit around and eat.
Then we should take a hike soon. Stretch your legs and get some sunshine.
I'd like that. I would like that a lot. But not today. I need to finish the coat of arms first. Get it done while I still can. I don't know what to do anymore. Marrying Alfred was a mistake. I knew it all along, but I saw no other choice. Not if I wanted to stop William Hamley. And Alfred was the only one promising to help me reclaim my father's inheritance. And ever since we've been married, he's been working deep into the nights to finish the cathedral. And when he's home, he expects nothing in return. Although I can see so much longing in his eyes. He is trying his best to make our arrangement work. while all I do is bicker. I made a mistake. And to make things worse, I am pregnant with your grandchild.
You brought this on yourself. You had the love of your life, but you threw it away.
Do you scorn me for what I did?
No more than anyone else. First and foremost, I blame that priest who turned my son into a monk. But you're a very close second.
What if I brought Jack back?
Oh, Aliena. Jack has left England. There's no possible way to find out where he went. I want you to know one thing. Jack loved you. For me, that makes you still family. If you can't have his baby, give it to me. I will raise it far away from this crooked world that had no room for my son.
I don't want to give our child away.
Then you cannot stay here. You cannot go on like this.
But I have to. Don't you understand? It's finished. I want you to wear it when you go to battle. To remind us of what we are fighting for.
Huh. Why a bear?
Because it's a strong and clever animal. It urges us to be its equal. If we don't use our power and wits, we have no chance of survival in this wilderness.
You hear that, Alfred? I'm a bear. Rawr.
Grow up, Richard. This is important.
Sorry.
How's the war going, by the way?
How is your standing with the king?
It's getting better and better. The good thing is, William Hamley is turning out to be quite the lousy player. In our last battle, he ran away when things started to get a bit tight. They say he was afraid to die before he settled matters with his mother.
His mother?
No one's seen her in years, not since her husband died. But rumor has it she's still alive and joyfully pulling his strings. Mention her to William, and he goes as pale as a sheep. Ali, we are so close, but we need to be careful. We mustn't let our guard down.
Is there anything you need from me, Richard?
Well, a new saddle would be nice.
I'll see to it.
And a horse to put it on, of course. The last one caught quite a few arrows.
Right.
I'll be out for a while. I've got some business at the market with Martha.
All right.
can't believe you two have almost done it. You've almost won your father's earldom back.
Oh, don't say that until it's actually happened. I'll see you later in the evening.
Ah, there you are.
I always wondered what it would have been like to grow up in a forest.
Oh, it's cold. Very, very cold. When I was young, I spent a night in Ellen's cave. If it hadn't been for her soup, I would have died for sure.
What kind of soup?
I think it had deer in it.
Deer?
Yes. Jack had caught it before we met him. I think it was the only one he ever caught.
But hunting deer is...
I know. It's punishable by death. Jack never was one for rules and laws.
Right. He was always busy with something, just not with what Tom asked him to do.
Jack? Yes. Yes, he was.
You will be an aunt soon.
What?
But don't tell Alfred. I haven't told him yet.
You still think marrying him was a mistake?
I do.
I do too. But you did it for very good reasons. So, maybe it wasn't a mistake after all. Maybe it will work. Not in a loving way, but more like a partnership. You two seeing eye to each other.
Maybe. But the baby is not...
What was that?
They built it too fast. Like the Babylonians, they sought to be grander than God, and for this we all have to suffer.
A stone roof. Alfred tried to build a stone roof without telling Papa.
You're with child? How can you be with child if we never...
My cub is gone and will never return. You threw it all away for a life of lies and a kingdom of dust.
Without a cathedral, my mother will spend an eternity in hell. And by God, I hope you won't suffer the same fate for this. I can't stay. Not without work. And not like this. I'm sorry.
There's no need to cry. There. We've been crying for far too long now. Where do we go from here?
We will build a cathedral right here, towering high above Shiring. But it will not be a cheap undertaking.
Money is no object. I shall build it for our Lord and my mother, so that the Lord will heal her.
I am sure he will. Ah, yes, there he is.
Who?
We will need a master builder.
My bishop, I think I have the right man.
My bishop, my name is Alfred Builder.
Next time on The Pillars of the Earth.
Witness the climactic final part of the series.
It's time we take back what was taken from us.
It's time to face our enemies.
It is time to make a stand for what we believe in.
The Pillars of the Earth.
Book 3.
The Eye of the Storm.
The White Ship. She was one of the fastest vessels that was ever built. The man who should be king of the English now, the son of King Henry, was on board when she sailed off. And with the prince there were 140 knights and many nobles, all on their way from Normandy to England. They say the ship hit the rocks, and then a fire broke out. Even before the White Ship had departed, the prince and his men had begun to drink and get violent. Monks that were meant to bless the voyage were then forced to disembark. Some say the ship had been cursed. The king's son and many of his family were pulled down into the Black Sea that night.
You're forgetting one important detail. Not only these monks, but also Stephen of Blois, the king's nephew, left the ship before it embarked. They say he got ill.
That old rumor.
The same Stephen who calls himself the King of the English now.
What? That cannot be a coincidence.
Yes, it can be. Of course he's king now. He survived. He is the king's nephew.
What do you think, my lord?
I think Stephen is a clever man. Clever enough to have his whole family perish. But why he would want to rule that godforsaken rock, I will never understand.
What makes you say that? I love my country.
Then why are you leaving?
Well, because I want to see something new.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. A proper country, where people know how to behave.
What about you? Why are you leaving?
I'm looking for someone.
For who? I guess I should stay out of other people's business. Forgive me.
You English do talk a lot, don't you?
I just don't know how to feel about leaving my country for the first time. I mean, how should anyone feel?
Excited?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just running away.
You should all get some rest. It will not be long now till we reach Cherbourg.
Thank the Lord. I can't wait to be back.
In the late summer of 1142, I had left my home country, England, for good. My old life lay in shambles, as did my former home of Kingsbridge. Having failed both my friends and family, I had set out to find my baby's father, the man I still loved with all my heart, Jack Jackson. And so early one morning in July, I finally arrived on the shores of Normandy. With nothing on me but a pouch of coin and a young, curious face yet unnamed, who was just as unfamiliar to this new world as was I. You're still here?
Oh, it's you. I'm just trying to get my feet used to good solid ground again. The last bit of our voyage wasn't exactly my pint of ale.
That hammer you're carrying, do you happen to be a mason?
Actually, I am. You have a keen eye, mistress.
I guess I just know a mason when I see one.
To be honest, I haven't been one long. Just finished my apprenticeship in Salisbury. Before that, I used to shear sheep with my parents, but I guess that wasn't really for me. Father still hates me for leaving, though.
I left my old life as well.
Scary, isn't it? To start off fresh and all that.
Well, you definitely sound more excited than scared.
Oh, I am excited. Wouldn't anyone be?
I don't know. Maybe. What will you do to find work here as a mason?
Don't know. That's for me to find out. All I heard was that the wages are better over here.
So you'll just travel from town to town and look for employment?
Right. And I'll start in Lasay. A fellow mason told me about the abbey there. He said these Normans build their churches quite differently than we do back home. I need to see that with my own eyes. Maybe learn a thing or two.
Do many masons go to Lasay?
I dunno. It's really just a tiny town. The mason who told me just happened to do some repairs there once. It's likely he told others as well.
I'm looking for someone. A red-haired mason called Jack Jackson. He came to France about a year ago or so.
A fellow mason? Great. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know a thing. After all, I just arrived.
I know, but tell him Aliena of Shiring is looking for him.
All right. Jack Jackson. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you. Have a safe journey.
Oh, thank you.
Good day. I am looking for someone. A traveler who... Oh, hush now. I need to talk to this man.
Looks young.
He was born at the beginning of summer.
What's his name?
I haven't given him one yet.
You should. He needs to know who he is. Makes growing up a lot easier. You said you're looking for someone.
The man I'm looking for looks a bit like you, actually. A bit more boyish, though.
So he has red hair, but no beard. Well, I don't know every redhead around these parts. There are quite a few of us. Most of my family here in Cherbourg is ginger.
Oh, his name is Jack Jackson, and he is a mason.
No. Maybe May saw him.
I'll ask her.
Hey, you. That's quite a bundle you got there.
Have you seen a... You must have landed here.
Another ginger in Normandy? Maybe you should ask someone in Barfleur. That's where all the travellers come through. Their lot rarely lands in Cherbourg with the fortress passing back and forth between... Why you even came to Cherbourg and...
It was the earliest...
You must be in some hurry, mad.
Let's just say I needed to get...
Fine with me.
What other routes are there, besides going through Barfleur?
Oh, I don't know, really. You need to ask the locals about that. But Barfleur sounds like... Shake my hand.
Do you know the...
Bin... But I tell you, you can even... Travelling, you're...
Apart from Barfleur. Well, there's Harfleur. Sometimes people even go through on. You could ask May to take.
I might. I'm afraid I can't help.
Maybe I should become a mason then. Would definitely pay more. Have a safe journey.
Changed your mind, madam? You know, I reserved a cut.
All right.
All right. Where do you need to be?
I arrived in Harfleur and finally got a lead. In an inn, a man remembered a red-haired Englishman who had... I thanked him and was about to leave when a group of pilgrims asked me over to their table. They told me that they too were heading... My father had once told me tales of the Mont Saint-Michel. Long ago, the Archangel Michael had urged Hubert of Avranches to build an abbey on a lonely rock on the ocean by burning a hole into his head. It was a windy day when I arrived, and the place was crowded with pilgrims. Pilgrims and jongleurs. Apparently, Jack had been hopelessly tracking jongleurs who might have known his father, Jack Cherbourg. But as he'd been gradually running out of money, Good day. Are you the master builder?
What is it?
I'm looking for a mason who may have passed through here. An Englishman with carroty hair. He calls himself Jack Jackson.
A redhead?
Yes. Did you see him? He might have asked for work here.
No, I'm not looking for new masons. We're just doing repairs.
Ah, but was he here?
No, never seen him. Now, stand back, woman. Something could fall on your baby's head.
I was told he wanted to come here.
Maybe he changed his mind.
Are you sure you haven't seen him?
I am.
You hesitated when I mentioned a redhead. Are you sure you haven't seen him?
Yes, I am sure.
I don't believe you.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
Why won't you tell me what you know?
All right, he was here. He was working for me. But I had to throw him out after 2 or 3 days.
Why?
Because he was all want. Let me redesign the roof, let me make the nave lighter. All pretty ideas, but he never shut up long enough to do the work he was supposed to do. Shit, that man was almost as needy as my son when he was still a brat.
He does know a lot about his craft.
Well, I know masons like him. They grow up gifted, but without a mote of discipline in their guts. Can't work with someone like that.
Do you know where he went next?
No idea. Maybe to Limoges or Angoulême. Maybe even to La Rochelle. Seemed to have plans for every cathedral on God's green earth, but none for himself.
I understand. I'll leave you to it then.
Bon voyage.
We had just left Tours when I suddenly felt dizzy. I stopped and made rest, trying to catch my breath, then lost my breakfast in a ditch at the side of the road. To my horror, our baby too had grown pale, his breath shallow like that of an old man. I tried not to panic, but the next inn was a long distance away and we couldn't stay on the road where it was wet and cold. I managed to walk until the sun had fully risen before I keeled over. A knife merchant who'd been travelling behind me flagged down a coach heading back to Tours and haggled with the coachman to carry me back to an inn. Back in Tours, the fever got worse. I remember people carrying me into a room, laying me on a bed. I tried to feed my baby, but after that, everything turned into a blur. When I awoke, Jack was standing next to my bed. He scolded me for following him. "You know you could go anywhere you want," he whispered. "Why be stupid and follow me?" I tried to answer, but he just opened the window and jumped out, heading toward ancient Greece, or maybe all the way to Arabia. And in my feverish mind, I followed him. The further I went, the angrier I got. For years, I'd been fighting for my family. I'd committed myself to an oath to my father. I'd built up a business to sustain it and even married a man I despised so I could create a future for the people around me. I'd known nothing but my duty to the men in my life, while the man I was trying to find lived a life of casual irresponsibility. He traveled. When could I ever do anything just for... I'd traveled in a circle all the way to the edge of the world and back, only to return to the place of our failure. With my eyes closed, I listened to the sound of ripping yarn and crumbling walls, and of coaches carrying good people away into a cloud of crimson dust. When the last moat had settled, I opened my eyes again and found myself in a dirty little room. An old maid was sitting next to my bed and smiled at me. Oh, dear God, he still... The more I tried to keep him warm, the colder he felt. Oh, please, God, I gently caressed his head until finally he put his mouth to my breast and drank more and more, becoming greedier with every swallow. We had both been spared. We rested one more day. I thank you, dear Lord.
All right, steady now.
I thank you for having spared my child. I thank you for...
Don't let go until it's done.
But why are you showing mercy on me? I failed everyone I cared about. I failed Jack. I failed my brother. And if I never return, I would also break the oath I had given Father. It's just that I feel like I've never had a life of my own. I've always fought for others. And this may be the very first time that I fight for something that I only want for myself. Maybe I should just go back and help rebuild Kingsbridge. Maybe Jack doesn't even care for me anymore. Amen. Huh. I've seen one of those before.
It's amazing, isn't it? The man who did that really had it in him.
Had what in him?
The spirit of a true Mason. It's a shame that the master let him go. In just 1 month, he did so many things.
The master builder said he'd fired him after just 3 days.
Did he? Well, maybe that's how he remembers it. The two didn't really see eye to eye, you know? To tell you the truth, everyone thinks that he feared for his own job having someone like that around. The last thing Jack did was carve that corbel. It was the one thing the master let him do. Then when he was done, he was asked to leave.
Your master said he had no discipline.
Let me tell you something. Jacques worked very hard on it. He was impatient and had a temper, but you could see that he tried to overcome it. Conquering that rock was very important to him.
Oh, I understand that so well. Do you happen to know where he went next?
He wanted to walk the pilgrim trail to Santiago de Compostela.
The Camino? The Way of St. James?
He said he might find someone there who knew his father.
Just one more thing. How was he when he left?
Never thought about that. Relieved, I guess. He seemed ready for something new.
Thank you so much for your help.
Think nothing of it. And good luck on your travels. May you find what you are looking for.
Isn't it odd? Just when you stop looking, you come across the most curious of things. Like these 3 devices that one of my merchants brought back from Baghdad.
Oh no. Is it another one of your Banu Musa toys, Rashid?
They're not toys, Adriel. They're objects of scholarly ingenuity and reflection.
I will let my valued friend from the north do the honors. Jack, if you may. one, let me draw your attention to the magnificent songbird on the table. Now, on second thought, why don't you save the lady for last? Otherwise, the other two devices.
I agree.
And then, to that wondrous donkey next to the entrance. Although, the most astounding thing of all stands right between them.
That statuette?
Ha ha, precisely. But, one thing at a time, let us let Jack decide what to demonstrate first.
He likes to take his time, doesn't he?
And now?
Now, it's so beautiful it will make you cry. Just listen.
But how marvelous!
How does it work?
Maybe it's a miracle.
Right.
Go on, Jack. Tell them.
There's a hidden wheel inside the box. It turns an axle that in return raises and drops a sequence of small cylinders inside. These cylinders work like fingers playing a flute.
But who is blowing into the flute?
Steam.
Steam?
Yes. When I opened the pipe, it gradually pushed itself into the tube.
The power of steam. For once, I must agree. This is brilliant.
Of course! It was created by a Muslim after all.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What else have you got, Rashid?
Anyone care for some tea?
Thank you, my daughter. We will have some as soon as Jack has finished our presentation.
Mind if I watch?
Of course not.
So, who is this man, Rashid?
Jack is a friend of the house. A brilliant man, a scholar and a talented artist.
I could watch this man scoop up water all day.
Just the other day, he explained Euclid to me.
What is that?
A Greek who wrote a book called The Elements of Geometry. Now, watch the head. Just any moment now. There. Did you see?
It threw up.
Rashid, this is disgusting.
Oh, far from it. Would you kindly explain how it works, Jack?
You see that bowl floating on top of the water? At the bottom of that bowl is a small hole. Through it, the bowl is slowly filled with liquid. Once it's full, it sinks, pulling a string which makes the ball drop onto a weight. This, in return, pulls the bowl up again, emptying it in the process.
Thus resetting the entire mechanism.
If you timed it perfectly, you could make it drop a ball at every hour.
Turning it into a clock. How clever.
For me, it's still nothing more than a puking donkey.
Show us more, Rashid.
One could join those two and build a singing donkey clock. One song after every hour.
That would be pretty clever.
I know, right? You could be the one to build it.
Oh, that would be unfair. It's your invention.
I would let you have it. Or we design it together.
You still haven't shown us that statuette yet. Of course. Jack, if you may. The Egyptians translated it into Arabic, and now the Englishmen are turning it into Latin. Oh, you will love this. Just watch.
How very peculiar.
And now?
Just be patient, but don't look away. It takes some time for her to...
To do what?
Hmm? Is it crying? Isn't that amazing?
No, it's irritating. Rashid, what is going on?
It's a mystery.
Rashid, please.
We all know that there is no such thing as a man-made miracle.
And this piece of wood is very clearly made by man.
I very much agree, my friends. But so far, none of us has an explanation.
All we know for certain is that her glassy eyes shed tears when you move her from warmth into cold.
Like a plant at sunrise. Like dew. The only difference is the surface, that's all.
I think you may be onto something.
Am I? Of course, I had no intention of disturbing your conversation. But if you can find out why there's dew gathering on a plant, you may understand why that woman is so weepy. So, who wants a cup of tea?
I'll have some.
Your daughter is quite something, Rashid. A scholar in her own right. I know. I'd rather she wasn't. It would make marrying her off so much easier.
Oh, I'm certain that won't stay a problem for long.
Maybe the dew originates from invisible water in the air. Water that stays hidden when it's hot.
The pilgrim trails across France converged at Osterbat, in the foothills of the Pyrenees. There, the group of 20 or so pilgrims who had been travelling alongside me since I'd left Tours swelled to about 70. Some were prosperous citizens, some probably on the run from justice, a few drunks, and several monks and clergymen. Several languages were spoken, including Flemish, a German tongue, and a southern French language called Oc. Nevertheless, there was no lack of communication among them, and as we crossed the Pyrenees, they sang, played games, told stories, and in several cases had love affairs. While my baby and I kept mostly to ourselves.
Ganz schön frech, die mit ihrem Kind.
Hush now. Hmm?
Richtig dreist. Kann ein Mann nicht einfach mal seine Ruhe haben? Der Weg aus Babenberg war doch anstrengend genug.
Dear Lord, what are you doing? You should get out of the water. It's freezing.
My ring. I lost my ring. Dear Lord, please show mercy. Come back to me. Please come back to me. Where are you? Where did you go?
I found it.
Yes! Oh, thank you. You are a very kind...
I'm glad...
Yes, yes.
Are you getting warmer?
I am, thank you.
I can see this ring is very precious to you.
It was a gift from my stepmother. She thought I would stay forever.
Tell me about...
She was such a kind...
Why did...
Oh, I thought She always said I was her daughter. I was so selfish.
Maybe you really weren't happy.
I don't know. I was very young and thought I was unhappy because I didn't live close to the sea. But in the end, the cold there made me sick.
Why didn't you...
She had been so angry when So angry and disappointed.
Ah, that's...
Yes. So that Sir James might see... I'm just not as kind.
Actually, I too am trying to make... I was told he went...
You will know soon.
Not soon enough. It's still 4 weeks till I get there.
He'll be there, I'm sure of it.
I hope so. I just feel that with every day, and that the only thing I can allow my... Hey, not long now, and... The woman's name was Alba. She came from a small town somewhere in Catalonia. I quickly got used to her constantly feeling out for her stepmother's ring and the sad guilt. I wasn't sure if she appreciated my company, but I couldn't leave her on her own either. By the time we reached Los Arcos, she'd stopped talking, while I kept... Alba believed herself to be of weak mind and body, and yet she walked the Camino with a strong sense of purpose that willed her onward. It made me wonder, but what was there to forgive? My decision to marry Alfred had been in the best interest of the people of Shiring. It was a sacrifice I had to make to stop. Around Lyon, the path began to gradually turn uphill. It was only 2 more weeks till we'd reached After Astorga, the trail got more difficult. Alba became slower and slower, and we had to rest more. The next morning, she refused to get up. Her breathing was disturbingly shallow, and she hardly noticed me touching her forehead. Of course, I stayed with her. I brought her food and water and sat by her side. I'd hardly known her, and most of the time she'd tried to push me away, as if she considered herself a nuisance that slowed me down and who didn't deserve. It wasn't until a few moments before she died that, for the first time, she smiled. I still like to believe that here, in this unlikely place, dying next to a near stranger, she'd found a moment of serenity and happiness, but she'd not reached Santiago. When I left, that thought still haunted me. To see that a journey could come to an end so... After months of hard travel, the child... In the evening, we attended Mass in the great cathedral. It was almost dawn when finally... Buenos dias. Do you understand me?
Sinto ben, pero non temos camas dispoñibles.
No, I don't need a room. I was told a friend of mine stayed here some time ago. A red-haired Englishman called Jack. Do you remember him?
Eu só che falo en galego, miña rula.
Francais? English? I'm looking for a man who likes to read a lot.
E logo anda sempre cun libro en riba.
Have you seen anyone like that?
Pero, por que levas un libro en riba? Basta escangallar co peso.
She doesn't even understand that I'm looking for a person yet.
Oh, que cousiña! Eche rubio!
Sí, redhead. Have you seen his father, Padre del Niño? Jack Builder?
Ven sendo un peregrino?
What?
É un peregrino?
Oh, no. He's not a pilgrim.
Entón, quen ven sendo?
Let me show you something. He's a mason. He builds things like that.
Ah, eche masón. Albanel.
Sí, a mason. It's the same word in Galician.
Por aquí pasan unha morea de masóns. Non me poderías dicir algo máis sobre el?
Oín falar dun masón que dis que se dedica a traducir libros en Toledo.
Polo visto, di que se chama Jack.
Yes, Jack. Have you seen him?
Non sei cal será o seu apelido, pero ben é certo que non chai moitos masóns rubios aos que lles guste ler. Se tan desesperada está, por que non vai a Toledo a comprobalo por si mesma?
Entón, marchou para Toledo.
He went to Toledo?
A Toledo marchou, sí.
Di que o teu Jack podería estar en Toledo.
All right, so I will go to Toledo then. Gracias. I just pray that I understood you correctly. Buenos dias. Parlez-vous français? English?
Of course. How may I help you?
I was told a man named Jack Builder lives in this house.
Who told you this?
A group of scholars living at the edge of town. They said he used to translate old scriptures about mathematics before he moved here.
Please wait here. I will talk with Master Rashid.
It's his.
Oh, there you are. May I ask who let you stroll around our house?
I was asked to wait here.
Yes, my servant told me already. My father's not here at the moment, so you'll have to make do with me. Unfortunately, I must disappoint you. There's no one called Jack living in this house.
Maybe he took a different name then.
I'm sorry, but this is not easy for any of us. I think you should know that Jack and I are promised to each other. Maybe we should go inside. The sun's burning, and my mother doesn't need to hear us. Jack told me about you. You are Aliena. You're the one who rejected him and married his stepbrother. And now you want him back.
I need my son to meet his father.
His father? The little one is Jack's son.
He is.
He always said that he had come here to find out about his family. But instead, he found out about everything else. About philosophy, mathematics. When he and my father met, it was love at first sight. They studied together and made great plans. But in the end, Jack would always start talking about his cathedral again. This great church he would build one day. Rib vaults and pointed windows. He'd ramble on about it for hours and stare up at that ceiling. We three sat here for hours and talked. And then in the evenings, it would be just the two of us. So many strange ideas about the future. Some barely more than silly dreams. Others almost in arm's reach.
You're talking about him as if he were gone.
Well, he's not here anymore. My father had offered him work as a master builder here in Toledo. He would have been well off and free to spend his evenings under vaults like this, with me as his wife. But in the end, he refused. Tell me, did you really marry his stepbrother?
It was a mistake. I know that now. I did it to fulfill a promise I'd made to my father. I thought I had no choice. I didn't want to hurt him. Believe me.
I do. You know, he left me because of you. Even after all you did to him, he couldn't let go. You can be glad that you ran into me and not my mother. She was enraged when he left.
Huh. He can have that effect on people.
But apart from that, we made our peace with him. Father even gave him one of his favorite pieces of his collection as a parting gift. A small wooden statue with stone eyes, in exchange for his slingshot.
Would you mind telling me where he went?
He went to Paris, to work on the Cathedral of Saint-Denis. He said he never found out about his father, so there was no reason to stay down here anymore.
Paris?
Yes. If you find him there, tell him I don't miss him.
I am sorry for all this.
You don't have to be. What is the child's name, by the way?
He has none yet. I wouldn't name him without Jack.
Isn't that a bit silly?
Maybe. But he's his son as well as mine. It's his right to have a say in it too.
Then off to Paris. That baby needs a name.
He will get one. Thank you. I travelled back along the Way of St. James, passing through Astorga, Lyon, and Burgos. I crossed the Pyrenees, revisiting Bordeaux, Angoulême, Poitiers, but never stayed longer than one night. The closer I came to Paris, the stronger my old doubts and fears resurfaced. If Jack really was there, what was I to say to him? I'd pull him very, very close, wishing for all the wounds to heal as quickly as they could. There. Are we awake then? You almost missed this. Look at these colourful windows. Look at the light.
Ali.
We came to see you, Jack.
We? Is he?
He is your son.
My son?
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. Ali, where do we go from here?
Wherever we go,
I want to go with you.
Will you marry me? Both of you.
We will.
We stayed in Paris as husband and wife. And our son, Tommy. The days went by quickly. Jack had learned much working as a builder in Saint-Denis. Days became months. Then after a year, we both grew restless. Where can we go from here, we asked ourselves again. We both confessed that we wanted to see our families, our friends. And then we knew where we wanted to go. Home. Even if it was in shambles.
We need to hurry. The ship to England will leave soon.
What's going on here?
Whatever it is, if the crowd doesn't clear up, we'll miss our ship.
Do you know what's going on?
Oh, chaos. I can't get these people to calm down. God knows I tried.
What happened?
The jongleur told the crowd a few stories. Then he sold people some miracle charms, but it was just fairy tales and painted stones.
Well, it always is.
I know, but I'd need a real miracle to calm them down now. Otherwise, they'll rip him apart.
You see? It's working.
Your friend Rashid must be quite the miracle worker.
Look! What's going on? The Holy Mother. She's crying.
Revere the Holy Mother, for she has blessed us with a sign from the heavens. Cease your doings right now, and witness the miracle.
It's true! Lord in heaven! Why is she crying?
She weeps for your sins. What has this man done to you that you would treat him like a wild animal?
He tricked us and took our coin.
And you would kill him for your own foolishness. The Holy Virgin weeps, for you are not living by the word of God.
It is the Mother of God.
Forgive us, Holy Mother.
Where did she come from? For hundreds of years, she languished in the land of the Saracens. Dormant, she has been waiting for the one to bring her home.
Listen to what he has to say. The Holy Virgin has chosen. Tell us all!
Her destination is beyond there. She was
Kings.
Where's that?
Hail Mary!
Make way for the
Helen!
Make...
Huh? Blessed Mary!
Give us a good...
They're donating to ask for her blessing.
Oh.
The Weeping Madonna shall hear your prayer. And with your donations, I shall build her a new shrine at Kingsbridge, a cathedral.
It's you.
Who do you mean?
You. The red-haired ghost.
Me? A ghost?
My husband is very much alive. I've known him since he was 12 years old.
But he drowned. By God, you drowned. 24 years ago. On the White Ship. My poor son. My Jacques.
His name was Jacques.
Jacques Cherbourg.
Jacques Cherbourg.
So much has grown, but there are no roots, no herbs.
What are you looking at, Jonathan?
The garden is in disorder. I want it to be right again, but I don't know how to do it.
Before I became prior, I thought the same about Kingsbridge.
Well, what did
I clean?
Where do we... What are we...
They take away light.
What do we do?
Pluck them. They look a lot like every other plant, so you need to learn how to tell them apart. Here, you see those? They're called let's pluck. Oh,
I'll do it.
if you insist. Make sure to pull out all of the thin roots.
And now what do I...
For plants to take root, the soil must be loose and fertile.
So, may I dig now? Done. What's next?
Stay here. I'll be right back. Now, where did you put them? Ah, here they are. You always said you wanted to plant these seeds and make a new garden, Milius. I think it's about time.
What did you bring?
Do you remember Milius? A kind man with a warm smile. Well, he told me to give you this.
Wow!
Now we just have to wait.
All right. How long?
Too long for us to keep sitting here.
That long.
Some things take time. And only with patience will you receive your reward.
Why do we have to do all these things if all we had to do is wait?
Simply waiting would you just pay. They are happening. And in a few days' time,
Oh. Does he make the...
you...
No.
Now you can fetch...
I bet that...
That's a longer...
I don't mind.
Maybe you're right. It is worth... Let's walk together.
But I...
Why isn't Remigius holding... What?
Our church lies in ruins. But all of this, these dire times, something that, until...
What do you mean?
You've been praying in these ruins. But you've been praying like you always did, in humbleness. We don't need a church for prayer.
Where else are we going to pray? The chapter house?
The church is where God resides.
God doesn't work in the ways we might assume. Today, Jonathan tended to our garden to make it beautiful again. And he told me of things I almost had forgotten. Good and evil are not in here or out there. They are within each of us. God made us in his image. Thus, we carry the godly spark within us. But we have witnessed that man can have the devil in his heart as well. Prayer needs no special place, for we are his church. In our actions, he exists.
We are God's temple.
No man is closer to God than any other. Whether you pray in church whether you're a man.
Philip! You have to see them. You've got to see the horses and the colours.
Jonathan. Now, what's going on?
I heard noises and I went to look.
Calm down. What happened?
But the priest said they brought...
Who?
Step right up, brothers and sisters, for you are a...
Who is that?
They brought us a miracle.
A miracle?
Don't be shy. There is no danger. Ah, you must be Prior Philip. I am brother. I have been sent by... Here is his... We've been charged. She is to replace the loss.
What?
On her travel from far away Africa, she has collected donations to reward Kingsbridge for your faith in her and in the Lord.
I can't believe this. What is all this?
You do believe. That is why she came. And that is why you shall witness her. The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen was her former guardian. And I and the custodians of the Holy Virgin were chosen to take her on a journey.
What country did you...
We have traveled all the way. The faraway land.
Africa has many countries.
Yes. I knew not her powers or destination.
What's it like?
The sun is all. It's a land of great deserts.
Like these horses. Are they horses?
They are not. To you, they might resemble horses, but the name the Africans have for these... Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me.
You mentioned there were fig trees.
It looks like...
The scripture mentions these.
No two apples.
I'm getting the impression that this man has never... But why would he lie?
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions. She said, "You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury. And along the road, from Paris, across Normandy, over the sea, and all the way to Kingsbridge. Devout Christians have given money for the building of the Church of the Weeping Madonna. this Church of Kingsbridge. The Weeping Madonna has chosen you, all of you. I could have continued to carry her from town to town until my flesh succumbed. But this was not her will. But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions. And I will tell you again. She is a true miracle that will change your life as she changed mine. Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me. She wanted to go home, but where? It came to me in a dream. It was Kingsbridge.
Excuse me. Don't interrupt.
You heard me correctly. It was a long journey. The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa.
Jonathan?
They're about to show the miracle.
A baptized Saracen was her former guardian. And I and the custodians of the Holy Virgin were chosen to take her on a
Tell me the truth. Why are you here?
We are guardians of the Holy Virgin that sheds tears. We were appointed by the Archbishop of Canterbury, but it was the Holy Virgin herself who chose us while she traveled through Europe.
Oh, yes. How did that happen?
She speaks without words.
Baptized? A Saracen?
What do you think of this procession?
They seem well intended, and we could use the money.
I will tell you again, dear brothers.
Do you speak English?
No English, no campandare. No.
Oh, what's this? I think you might have stepped into horse dung.
What? Where?
No English, is it?
Just un poco, si.
Could you talk to this man, Martha?
Yes, it's strange. He was quite talkative just a moment ago. He told me he was from Damascus in Africa.
Isn't Damascus in Arabia?
There's one in Africa too, I'm sure.
Why are you pretending you can't speak English?
No inglese. Malada.
The Weeping Madonna has chosen you, all of you.
They look almost like horses.
You heard me correctly. It was a
Hollow.
long journey.
Feels like a wicker basket covered in pelt.
The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen was her former guardian. And I and the custodians of the Holy Virgin were chosen to take her on a journey.
Baptized? A Saracen?
You must be thinking, how can he be so sure? In the beginning, I was not. I only had my faith. I knew not her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried... You must be thinking, how can he be so sure? In the beginning, I was not. I only had my faith.
You don't need to be here, if it's too loud for you.
I knew not her powers or destination.
My dear people!
Oh, I'm so excited to see a true miracle.
Did you hear that? The Madonna has chosen us.
She's come all the way from Africa.
Nevertheless, I carried her for many miles. Why was Kingsbridge chosen to be the home of the Holy Virgin? She said, "You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury.
Hey!
Shh! And I will tell you again. She is a true... Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me. She wanted to go home, but when? It came to me in
I
a dream.
am Philip.
It
Who are you,
was
young man?
Kingsbridge. You heard me correctly. It was a long journey. The
Why are you
weeping Madonna
hiding?
came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen was her former guardian. And I...
Baptized?
A Saracen? And I will tell you again. Can you feel it? Brothers and sisters, you are about to witness a miracle. The Madonna knows how you have suffered. The Virgin Mother had to witness the rise and fall of her Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, and never stopped believing. Kingsbridge has endured many hardships. Prior James left you before his time when you needed him the most. Your old cathedral was burned to the ground.
How do you know this?
And your new one collapsed even before construction was finished. You have suffered the ruthless destruction of your market, homes, and lives.
Dada!
All of you have lost husbands, wives, and children, family and friends.
Dada!
All of you know how it is to be hungry and afraid. But you have kept your faith.
Aliena.
Philip.
And the Madonna
This
knows.
is a miracle, isn't it? Or something along those lines.
But how?
We thought it was time to give Tommy a home.
The boy? Your boy?
Well, Philip? Do you recognize him? Our little Tommy?
Tommy? But... Just what are you doing here with these people? Do you think I wouldn't notice it's all artifice? Your camels are horses, your foreigners are English faking their accent? And Reynold is just a dubious man speaking nothing but lies.
The camels were a bit much, weren't they?
With the Madonna, we were able to collect donations for your priory and for Kingsbridge.
Really?
We can start anew. We can rebuild the cathedral.
What's the catch?
I'll get to be Master Builder.
Why?
I've studied the cathedrals, churches, and houses they build in France and Spain. I saw how different their constructions were, with new shapes, colors, and ideas. Oh, you should have seen it. They combined rib vaulting and pointed arches. I want to do that. That's why.
Why here?
Because this is home.
The townspeople probably think that's enough to build a whole cathedral. But to me, it looks like about £100. You know, that won't even pay for a year's work.
Like all of this, it's a symbol. Enough for a fresh start.
And the Madonna will stay here. Kingsbridge will attract visitors and donations again.
You mean I should be thankful for these lies and tricks?
Jack! Aliena! You came back!
We wanted to see you, little sister.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. But look at you! And the little one!
Tommy.
How are the others?
Alfred left Kingsbridge. Richard shows up every now and then, and Ellen returned to the forest.
We need to visit her.
Father lives with her now.
What's wrong, Mother?
I'm glad you're back.
I am too. Very glad.
She looks like she's about to cry.
She will weep for your suffering, Kingsbridge. She knows your pain.
What now?
The miracle!
Her eyes are wet.
Her eyes!
Look at her.
They're shining!
She cannot hold her tears any longer.
She is made of wood. It's impossible.
Why are you weeping? She is mute ever since her husband died.
And Madonna has suffered as I have. She understands.
It seems through her faith in all of your lies, Mary has found a miracle. We can't keep trying to repair Kingsbridge by ourselves. Things are not improving. We're struggling to keep things as they are.
But we can't afford to hire help.
Without farming and fairs, we're back to Prior James's time.
All these past years, my advice was good enough for you. But it appears you've changed your mind now, again.
It is time we started doing something to wake up and make Kingsbridge what it used to be. We did before, and we can do it again.
I'm not willing to accept a risk like that. Don't you remember what happened last time? My, how easily we forget.
I remember well.
And still, you put your trust into a group of random strangers to make things better. Philip, why in God's name have you stood by and let this happen? They're tricking us into giving them money for false idols.
They are giving us money.
So that we'll place this idol in our priory? Do you approve of this?
People need hope, and these travelers are giving them hope. Yes, it is a deception, but with good intentions. Mary speaks again. Is that not a true miracle?
You fell for them. You really did. And now you joyfully take part in their deceptions. I'm warning you. I cannot support a prior who tolerates heresy.
Your threat won't sway me. No matter how unconventional, their return and their gift are a blessing.
You made your decision, Philip of Gwynedd. And now, I make mine. I resign. I'm leaving the Priory.
You got so big, Tommy. And you're just as shy as your father was.
Don't let him fool you. Usually, he's always up to something.
We are so proud of you. Of both of you.
Is she still here? Your wife, Agnes?
No. Ellen and Martha moved her to Kingsbridge. She got a proper burial this time.
Will you come back with us, too?
Would you want that?
Yes. I need your help with the cathedral. Philip and I have big plans.
We'll come.
Ellen, we found Jack's family in Cherbourg.
The place he came from wasn't Cherbourg, it was Cherbourg.
Really? What were they like?
They were good people.
His grandmother said Jack looked just like him, like his father.
He does.
They never came for him or asked about him.
They thought he was dead. His ship sunk. He'd always wanted to go to England.
Have you ever heard of the White Ship?
No.
The king's family drowned.
My father was there. He was the only one who survived.
Not for long.
You told me that he was accused of stealing a chalice.
Yes. But I know he was innocent. I heard the story and had to find out what he looked like. He told me his name. I fell in love. I helped him escape. But in the end, they caught up with us.
What happened then?
They hanged him. I was there. And you were there, Jack. But you weren't born yet. He was led to the gallows. Everyone was quiet. The people somehow knew he was not a thief. But I knew for sure. He told me. He was so afraid. He didn't want to die. I didn't want him to die. And I prayed. Then I heard his voice. Quiet.
Sang sweeter than ever, as if the falling melody might wing and net dissever. At dusk the hunter took his prey, the lark his freedom never.
No! No!
You said that 3 men were responsible for Father's death.
Who were they?
The Sheriff of Shiring, Percy Hamley, Prior James of Kingsbridge, and Archdeacon Waleran Bygod. They showed no mercy. Neither did I. I curse you! All of you! He will return to haunt you! One day, you will be judged for what you did. Your houses shall be consumed by fire. Your life shall end in pain and agony. You shall grow old in sadness and regret. The people they killed will return to haunt them. I promised them.
We welcome our new Prior Remigius. He helped to recover the bones of the Saint of Kingsbridge, Adolphus, from the hands of thieves. Adolphus already rests safely in this great cathedral of Shiring. Our master builder Alfred promised me that it will only be a matter of a few years until the cathedral will be finished. And the Earl of Shiring has promised to support us. But he has not done so for himself. No, the Earl is not a selfish man. His mother, Lady Hamley, is sick. More and more, I feel the whole of England is suffering from a sickness. The sickness of war, poverty, and most I asked him. No matter the cost, with this cathedral...
Waleran Bygod!
Jack, what are you doing here?
My father died by your hands, Waleran. His name was Jacques Cherbourg.
How dare you talk to the bishop like that?
He died right here!
Who are you?
I know that man. He's that bastard from Kingsbridge.
That man is my husband.
You?
All of you, listen to what we have to say. From now on, Kingsbridge is protected.
By our knights, by our walls, and by the word of the king.
So whatever you do, we will defend our town, our market and fulling mills.
And our cathedral, which we shall rebuild. All workers are invited to come and work for us.
Preposterous.
If you so much as try to bring harm to us, Bishop, we will make sure that you pay for everything you did.
It had been 3 years. 3 years of drought. 3 years of hunger and poverty. England was brought to its knees. Only our walls had kept us safe from the bands of outlaws raiding towns and villages. Bishop Waleran and William Hamley forced the workers to finish their cathedral in Shiring. Many had died. The work on our own cathedral had almost come to a halt. 4 weeks the storm had raged on. It was then that our cathedral gave up its last secret. And everything changed.
Tom! I told you wouldn't like the sight of this.
It looks bad, but it's not the wall I'm worried about. It's good you sent the workers home during the storm. Now do us all a favor and do the same. Go home. Your children hardly get to see you. Tommy and Sally have been asking about you all morning. You'll kill yourself up here!
That crack down there must have been due to the storm. If the storm works, I work.
My cathedral was never designed to be this high.
I know! I reinforced the walls. It cannot be the height.
What else was damaged? I'd look myself, but I dare not come closer. If your mother knew I was up here at all, she'd kill me.
Both of us.
What?
She would kill both of us! The vaulting is cracked. One day, it's sailing on Rashid.
Sure!
The roof... If we don't find out what's causing this, the storm is making... Sure. What about... She should be on her way... Oh, yeah, If I'm...
You're probably wrong.
All right. One more time.
And?
If the vaulting were unstable, this part should have collapsed, and the wall would retract.
So, the cause of our problem is not up here?
No.
When we erected the Eastern Wall 17 years ago, no matter what we did, it always came back, remember?
Yes, but this is not the same wall. We rebuilt it.
Still, could the cause not have been the same?
The crypt!
Huh. How kept the whole foundation there as it was?
But it never had to carry this much weight before.
You're right. If the cause of our problem is down there, you go ahead.
Don't you need...
I'll manage.
Are you sure?
Go on. I know you can
Neither can... I'll just take a quick...
They were enraged. Bishop Henry thinks that the Pope should hear about what you wrote.
I think so, too. I would be honored if he read my book.
Philip, I really am worried about you.
There is no need for it. It is just...
The problem is that the people love your sermons. Your book is being copied in
Is that not a good thing?
In desperate times.
That is...
Well, I fear the bishop...
Ah.